Come to work with me as a florist. This is part 2. Ended up getting a really small shipment. This was the day before Valentine's Day. That was fine because we had plenty of stuff to do. If you may have seen me making this wrap before. Trust me, I made more than one. To get all of our product out of the cooler and onto the sales floor. Here you can see the entire cart of wraps that I made. This day was a lot of unloading and moving stuff around. This is what the floral cooler looked like inside before. We had lots of roses, arrangements, and wraps. This was when we started taking them out. We had to move other plants around to make space on the tables. Had some space in the cooler and still had all the regular stuff out on the floor. Around midday we were done and I started making custom arrangements. I made all of these. Here you go, see? The one with yellow roses reminded me a lot of my mom. I ended up splitting it into 2 arrangements. Those 2 with the yellow bow there. Felt like they were kind of different and I really hoped they'd sell. As you can see, I made all of these. So I had a recipe, started making similar arrangements, the same vase and type of flowers, the same price point. Okay, and this is the start of Valentine's Day because somebody else put those petals in the cooler. And here she is showing me the wow arrangement, which is like the big expensive guy. And you can see the ones that I made, several of them. This is what the floor looked like at the beginning of Valentine's Day, or at least when I got there. Some stuff had sold, but there's still a lot out there. And there's this other area, I had to put some of the potted plants. You can see the like cheap table decor. Really bought that. And they had me make some more wraps. We were totally out of red roses. This was about the closest color. This is towards the end of the day. You can see that at this point those 2 arrangements that remind me of my mom still hadn't sold, but the whole place looked a lot sparser, kind of fill it out with other stuff. This is basically what we did all day, was provide customer service and move stuff around so it looked nice. At this point, I had been hoping that those 2 arrangements that reminded me of my mom had sold. My boyfriend showed up and surprised me and almost ended up getting me one. But I had other flowers and we decided to do something else. I was still really hopeful that these 2 arrangements would sell though. And I came back the next day to help clean up. You can see they've consolidated all the balloons here. Coworkers were really excited to pop them. I like to see this much waste, you know, but that's just me. I helped clean up, and at the end of the day, I made some more wraps. I added a couple roses to these bouquets. Definitely had more of a springy vibe than the Valentine's Day vibe that we had before. One of the arrangements had sold, and there was still one left. It's here in the cooler, and you can see the rest of the cooler here. It's pretty filled out still, but a bunch of stuff sold. We still have lots of rose petals, and then we got some new plants and bouquets out on the floor from the load from this day. Yeah, looking good. You saw my wraps there. These tulips opened and it was 2-toned, and my other arrangement sold. Let's go. See?